Hello and welcome to the PMC Podcast. At PMC Lounge, our aim is to help you get certified and stay ahead. The PMC Podcast focuses on the stay ahead side of things. And this is where we cut through the theory with real conversations, featuring the practitioners and thought leaders from the project management industry, of course. So I just mentioned real conversations, not theory. And project managers are real people. Real people have jobs, and real people also have responsibilities like kids. And this is where I would like to mention that I myself am a father of twin girls who are 5. And that is one of the biggest reasons why I enjoyed reading our guest's article, where she drew parallels between parenting and project management. So, our guest today is Jessica, and I am not trying to pronounce her last name, so apologies there.
No
But she
worries.
is, so Jessica is a passionate project manager, and she likes to turn complex projects into learning experiences that are grounded in real world. She also enjoys writing about the human side of project management and often blends real life stories with practical lessons, which you are going to see as we go through this podcast. So, thank you so much for joining us today, Jessica. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
All right. So, let's start by setting the scene for our listeners, right? So, you mentioned that before kids, you thought managing overlapping project deadlines was actually hard. But now
hmm
that you are managing, I believe, a 6 month old, a 3 year old, and a 4 year old, take us into that moment of realization, right? Somewhere between the,
Yeah.
I would say, the bottle feeding and the dog walking, where you looked around and you realized that, hey, wait a minute, this is not just parenting, this is maybe extreme project management. How did these two
Yeah.
worlds collide for you?
Yeah. The realization kind of happened when I was on maternity leave with my third. So I remember, before maternity leave being like, okay, I got this. I've done this before. I know what to expect. I know what these weeks will be like. And, I think just like any well-planned project, nothing went as expected. My third child was nothing like my first two. He was colicky. He had different needs. He responded differently to things that worked with my first two. And it was about kind of letting go of the assumptions I had and the expectations I had going into it
Mm,
and learning how to adapt for this new stakeholder that had joined our family. And yeah, the realization was, to me that as a leader at home, as I was going back to work, that the parallels to being a leader at work were
mhm,
also that you can't always have that control and
mm.
that every project's going to be different. Every person who is involved in a project is going to be different. And you need to be able to kind of shift the parent you are or the leader you are to each person.
Perfect, perfect. Now, you've also written that parenting is actually the ultimate project, right? Uh,
hmm
in in traditional project management, we have a project charter, and if you
hmm
had to write a charter for your
Oh,
household,
God.
what do you think would be the primary objective? And is it just survival, or as I'm sure, I mean, there definitely is a bigger deliverable at play here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think day to day it might feel like survival. And I think at sometimes just like a project, you lose
Mhm.
sight of that bigger picture. But I do think the bigger picture is the growth and development. I mean, ultimately, you want to see your kids grow and succeed and learn. And so the focus is, like I said, although day to day you might lose sight of it, the focus is you want to instill those behaviors that you want them to have as grown kids or grown adults, which is very similar to leading people.
Love that, love that. And let's get down into more project management type of stuff now. So,
Yeah.
one of the things that really made me laugh was your first lesson, and it was say it simply, say it more than once. Now, you
Mm-hmm.
compared explaining things to toddlers with explaining things to stakeholders. You
Yes.
even mentioned that, put your dishes away could mean five different things depending on who hears it. Now, can you share more about how has navigating this toddler communication changed the way you write your, maybe even your project emails or conduct your status meetings? Do you sort of find yourself simplifying things even more now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think through my children, I've learned how to talk simply and to not overcomplicate things or, add more details than are necessary because as little kids, they just can't handle that detail. They need the one step direction at a time to be able to get to the next step. And, I kind of made that realization with stakeholders too, not that they can't handle more, but that it might not matter to them. So in order to, communicate the messages that matter to stakeholders, you really need to figure out what their interests are, what their needs are, what their expectations are. And then, yeah, you do need to tailor that communication so that you're giving them what matters to them. And, this was a tough lesson learned for myself too. I remember when I started out, I sent this super long email to all of my stakeholders. And I think my manager reached out to me like, that was a lot. That was way too much detail. Like, they're
Mm,
not going to read that.
yeah.
And so it's through, trial and error too that I've
Mm,
noticed, okay, if I want my stakeholders to actually read the updates and see what matters to them, then I have to provide it in a way that they're going to be engaged and want to read
right.
it.
Right. Love that because I think this is something that happens to a lot of newbie project managers. We tend to think that, we need to be as detailed as possible
Hmm.
and, send things out to as many people as possible. And that's where, you know, either you then become a parent or you gain the
Yeah.
experience and realize that, you have to keep things simple. And simple
Hmm.
communication is actually the best form of communication. Anyways,
Yep.
let's talk about this juice box dilemma that you have introduced. You noted that every stakeholder wants the same juice box. Now, may not want the same juice box
Yeah.
at every time, right? So some might need the red cup, some want no
Hmm.
ice. And in the corporate world, or in project management, we can call this as stakeholder analysis, right? So
Yeah.
you may have some picky eaters on your project teams. Like when a stakeholder might want to demand the red cup, or let's say
Yeah.
a specific type of report, which is not standard, which is not the standard format that we are used to, right? My question is, do you accommodate them? And when I say them, I'm talking about the stakeholders, just like
Hmm.
how a parent would. And also, should we be accommodating at all times, or is it okay to even push back at times?
Um, yeah, this is a tricky one. I do think there's a balance there. I think the priority is figuring out what matters to them. So I think at the beginning of the project, it's about, asking questions, actively listening to what it is that they need. So maybe there's a way that you can accommodate their needs without
Mm,
going all the way.
yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like when you ask those deep questions, you can uncover some underlying priorities or underlying expectations that what they're asking for isn't necessarily the solution. And you might be able to
Mm,
provide them
mm,
with that by
love that.
compromising or, coming somewhere towards the middle. But I do think that, no matter what, the idea is that you need to get to know your stakeholders. Because the more you do that and the more they see that, you have a genuine interest in hearing them out, I think that builds trust in the relationship. And so you might not have to go all the way over to the other side in order to accommodate them. That trust itself might leave it a little bit more open and flexible.
Right, right. So I think the crux is it's best to sort of understand
Hmm.
the kind of requirement that these guys are coming from, and then give a
Yeah,
solution. Love that. Now, you
exactly.
also you also made a point when you were talking about nap times that the most detailed project plan will eventually meet reality. And
Yeah.
I love that line. Every project manager fears the moment when that plan falls apart, right? And as a parent, you just cannot cancel the project when the baby won't sleep, right? So that's something that you
Yeah.
can do if you're a parent, but not on projects, right? How has
Hmm.
this creates that forced resilience kind of thing, right? Has that made you a calmer leader when a project hits a, let's say, a major roadblock?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's helped me focus less on the control and the perfection and keep that bigger picture and that end outcome in mind
Mm-hmm.
and be a little bit better at knowing how to flex and adapt and be resilient and,
Mm-hmm.
helping others not get frustrated or panic when things go wrong, but instead, focusing on just keeping the momentum and looking at what's working well and what's not working well and how we can shift in order to keep moving forward. And
Right.
I think maybe prior to parenting, I didn't see as much as that, the patience and progress aspect to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But with parenting, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Your
Exactly.
toddler will push back more than anyone you have ever experienced. So,
Right. Right.
I think you do learn a lot about how much progress just having patience can show.
Love that. And since you've mentioned resiliency, and it made me think
Hmm.
right about agile. We have these burn down charts in agile, but at home you have something called the potty training charts. So you
Yeah.
mentioned that in your house, independent potty use deserves a standing ovation. Now, how do you translate that kind of energy to a
Hmm.
professional team? Like, what does a standing ovation look like for a project team member?
I think it could look like any type of progress throughout a
Mm-hmm.
project. One thing that I don't like is not recognizing any type of achievement or milestones until the end of the project.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I think is really important is recognizing things as they happen. So whether that's progress or collaboration or just making a really strong decision that will have a
Mm-hmm.
good impact. I think it's about recognizing those things, especially when you have a more messy or complicated project that constantly is dealing with a lot of change. Change can be frustrating and it can cause a lot of stress. And in
Mm-hmm.
order to keep that momentum going and people fighting towards that end finish line, you need to tell them that they're doing a good job and that the decisions they're making are making an impact. And, same goes for potty training. Potty
Mm-hmm.
training will get frustrated for both the parent and the child.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't keep, rewarding them with M&Ms and sticker charts, then you're going to be 2 years in and your kid's still going to be in a diaper. So it's
Exactly.
that same type of concept.
Love that. Love that. Now, before I go into any further question, I would also want to know, like, if I were to ask you that, this one thing stands on the top of the list when it comes to me becoming a better project manager because I became a parent, what would that be?
Um, I think it had me focus more on people. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a very detail-oriented person. I love a plan. I love following the plan. I love checking things off on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think parenting helped me be more empathetic towards people and
Mm-hmm.
understand that, projects end, but people continue after a project.
Love that.
And through a project, they learn things such as resilience and adaptability and patience.
Mm-hmm.
And if I modeled those myself as a leader, then when the project is over, the people who are involved will continue going with those behaviors and will be able
Mm-hmm.
to demonstrate those in future projects.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the focus, that the people, that projects matter, but they won't always go as planned. And it's about making the people involved better through it.
Love that. I think you had mentioned something like that in the article as well, that the
Hmm.
greatest deliverable isn't the product itself, but the people, and
Yeah.
that is such a beautiful sentiment. But yeah, I mean, let's go to my last question, and this is
Yeah.
perhaps your most practical advice, which is that granola bars solve 80% of the problems. So, is
Yeah.
this is
Our
this
snacks fix
strictly
everything.
so is this strictly a metaphor? Have you actually walked into, let's say, a heated stakeholder meeting to lower the tension with bringing in some
Hey,
snacks?
a bowl of M&Ms on a table makes anyone happier.
Love
So,
that.
highly suggest it.
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this interesting topic, Jessica. I'm
Of
sure
course, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of our community members would have a lot of takeaways from this conversation, and I'm even more sure that if they are parents, they would have loved this conversation. And it has been a
Thank
pleasure
you.
speaking with you. Thanks again for taking the time out and joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.